What's up, man? Anyway, I'm driving, man. You know what it is. Um, I just got back from a DoorDash, man, and it's kind of crazy. The events leading up to it, because I gotta say, earlier today, I was thinking about a young man. I was thinking about a young man. I think he might be same age or older than me by a couple years, but he used to work with my father. Um, And I know in between me moving back and forth between Houston, I came back and he wasn't working with my dad anymore. And I was sure that they butted heads, they fought and they really couldn't, you know, figure it out. I figured that. And I told him, like, I know how my dad is, no disrespect to my father. We both said that. No disrespect to him, you know. And I told him, I was like, hey, I get that because I feel like I gave everything too. And he still, and it didn't work out. But man, just uh the fact that I even had an encounter with that young man just 100% makes me grateful for today. It boosted my day. It's a good day, bro. Because and he was ecstatic. He kept shaking my hand. He kept shaking my hand over and over again. He was like, "Oh my God, brother! Hey, hey, hey!" And I told him I was like, "Man, we gotta link up, man. We gotta, cause you're a good man. You're a good man. And he was like, definitely. He's like, if not this week, next week, like we gotta link up. But he was working cash register at this place that I just picked up food from and dropped off right now. And I saw him and I was like, no way. I was like, no way that's him, bro. And when he saw me, instantly he knew who I was. And he's shaking my hand, ecstatic. He's ecstatic. Like, oh my God, it's you. Oh my God. And I was like, man, that's awesome because he was just such a good man. And that's why, like, it really boosted my day. And what's incredible is that earlier today, after I left the park, I thought about this event where practically everything changed for me. I was supposed to go on a date with my girlfriend at the time, and I didn't. Instead, I went on a bicycle ride with another girl that worked for my dad, and we rode bikes. And I thought about that young man because he said something during that event. And during that time, he was I feel like he was very in tune with God because he said he preached at somebody that was bothering his sister who had a long time relationship with his sister. And he said something and the man started wiling out, like literally going crazy and started and ended up in a mental institution. And I was thinking, wow, like he drove the devil straight out of him. And I was thinking, or at least straight out away from his family. And I particularly was thinking about right now how he said something to me, and I feel like it made me change my course. And so just seeing that encounter, seeing him in general, just really made me believe, like, wow, like this is meant to be, brother. The fact that of any side of town I could have been on, this man works in the same neighborhood, same area, that I live in, like right up the road, in this restaurant. And I'm just thinking, like, man, I'm going to come back just to talk to him. I want to see him outside of work. I want his wisdom. I want him to tell me something. And he told me, he was like, anything you need, I got you. He's like, anything you need, just let me know. And it's like, I'm thinking, like, hell, if I ask him where to find some work, I bet you without a doubt he'll know where I can go to make some work, to make some money. He's working in a restaurant, but knowing the type of young man that he is, and he even said, he's like, I've been working here, I've been working on my own business, and he said, this is going to be the last year that I ever have to work in the food industry, ever. That's what he said. This is going to be the last year that I ever have to work in the food industry. So it was just a great encounter, bro. And beforehand, not to mention that this morning or this early afternoon, I was thinking about a time that I had with him, an event that transpired, where I felt like he was preaching to a certain degree, And then to go driving, and while I'm driving around, I'm thinking like, man, I'm so sad I don't have money. Only reason I'm sad is because I know this girl is going to be upset that I don't have money. But just that encounter makes me feel like everything's going to be okay. Like everything's going to be fine. Regardless, forget the money. I feel like it's going to be fine because I feel like knowing him, he's going to hook me up with a job in sight, or at least wisdom, and at the very least, just some encouraging word. I need a confidant. I need an accountability partner. I need somebody that will speak positive into my life. I want to tell him my story for the past 3 years. He even said it. I was like, man, brother, I was like, it's been a while. It's been a long time. He was like, yeah, it's been 3 years. He knew exactly how long it had been since the last time I had seen him. We exchanged phone numbers. And I'm ecstatic just because he was such a good man. And I think a representation of God. And I feel like this is a great time to intercede in my life when I need it. Someone who is positive, someone who's encouraging, someone who's smart, and I enjoy being around. I'm just ecstatic, man. Ecstatic, brother. Ecstatic. Like, who would have known I would have met this young man while I'm door dashing and he's working the cash register. The coincidence and the timing, bro, it's too much, man. But just the fact that that encounter occurred makes me feel like everything's going to be okay. It also makes me feel like I should not tell my girlfriend because I'm super ecstatic, right? Every time I start to get excited from now on, I'm going to start telling you all the good news instead of my girlfriend, because this seems like one of those things that, like, the girl wouldn't understand. She would be like, oh, that's great. You met somebody that you used to know. Okay. know. Plus the fact that, like, what? I might not make the amount of money that she expected or she told me to make today on DoorDash. So, you know, she's not going to care about any other type of news except for where's my money, nigga? You know? But, I knew it. I told you, bitch. But, yeah, man. We out here. I'm at 3 orders. I need 2 more to at least do something reasonable for my girl. But I'm going to just pause for a second and park right here. Because let me tell you what, brother. That encounter was just something else, man. Something else. That right there just made me feel like everything's going to be all right. Like everything's going to be okay. Like that's how effective that uh, that thing came up, bro, out of nowhere. And just prior to that, I'm driving around sad because I'm like, oh man, like I'm not gonna, be able to meet my quota today. Money, flesh, manna, things of this world. And then that encounter happened, and I feel like my day is boosted, bro. That made my whole day. But still, work needs to get done. It's 6:40, and all I'm thinking about is how I still owe 200 more push-ups today. And it's about to be 7 o'clock. My girl gets off in 2 hours. You can do 100 every hour at least. That's 10 minutes for me. That means even if I had to look ridiculous and do push-ups right here in this parking lot, I can fucking get it done. My 5 phases of the day means right now we're in phase 4, and that ends at 7:15. So I have 30 minutes to knock out 100 push-ups. Before we go into the last phase of the day. The last phase of the day starts at 7:15, 7:30. Excuse me, I'm talking to AI. Ha 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 ha!